So how do we know that prioritization is broken? Well, here are some of the most common symptoms of poor prioritization. Number one, you have too many projects or too few resources. It's the same thing. Number two, you struggle to align projects with strategy. Number three, you suffer from he who shouts loudest syndrome, where the loudest voice wins or the person with the most power. That's no way to prioritize anything. Number four, maybe like many other PMOs, you feel like the goalposts keep moving. You select the portfolio projects and a month in, just as you're starting to get into your stride, it's all changed and the business declares that it wants a different set of projects. It's impossible to make much progress if you're always chopping and changing like this. And of course, that means it's impossible to deliver on your business strategy. Perhaps you're struggling to get your project delivery rates up above the average, which is in the mid 60% level. Yep, prioritization and more generally, portfolio governance can really help you deliver projects more reliably. And we've got a blog on that. Maybe you're struggling to make resource allocation decisions. Now, clear prioritization can obviously help you consistently and systematically apply resources where they'll have the most impact. I could go on. Now, I'm going to show you briefly how software helps you with prioritization. But before I start, I think it's important to flag something up. There's a lot of information online about project prioritization. Now, while most of it is well-intentioned, most of it is also plain wrong. Now, it might surprise you to learn that there's a lot of research into project prioritization, and that research tells us what works and what doesn't. And building a magic spreadsheet or a prioritization matrix doesn't really do it. In fact, these are the tools that got us into this 20% waste mess. Now, this video is different. Pretty much everything I'll show you today, everything I'll talk about is based on the research into what actually works. And that's why it works. Now, don't worry. You don't need to become a decision scientist to prioritize projects. Our product has taken all this research and bundled it into software that's pretty easy to use. Now, obviously 15 minutes isn't long enough to go into all the detail, so this will be a pretty high-level run-through. But if it ignites your curiosity, you can learn more from our website, where there are loads of free resources to help you improve your project prioritization. Better yet, book a one-on-one session for us to go into more detail and see how our software might help you reduce waste, boost business value, and frankly, make your life easier. There are three main steps to project prioritization that I'm going to cover today. Now, we said earlier that the point of doing projects is to deliver business value. But the problem is your executives don't agree on how to measure that value. The sales guy thinks selling is the most important thing in the world. The manufacturing VP knows that productivity and waste are the organization's top priority. So the first thing we'll look at is how to get agreement within the leadership team on a clear, quantifiable definition of value. Next, we're going to look at how you can then collect project requests, score them reliably against that defined value, and do this at scale without going mad. Finally, we'll look at the output, the pretty pictures that let us figure out which projects add the most value and which ones we really shouldn't invest in. Now, for the first part, the bit where we define value, we use a branch of decision science called Analytic Hierarchy Process. That's AHP to its friends. Now, you can learn more about AHP and why it's the right method to use for project prioritization in our ultimate guide to project prioritization. For now, let's just put our faith in the smart folks at the University of New South Wales. Now, they looked at the research into over 100 different methods of prioritizing projects and found that the vast majority simply weren't suitable for prioritizing projects in complex organizations like yours. In fact, AHP was one of only 2 methods that they found to be suitable. And that's what we use in the software, AHP.